You're too old, and it's too late to start. Has anyone ever said that to you? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's too late to quit. And oh, yeah, you're not too old. In fact, the good news is that it's always the right time to start. You've come to the right place. And me and my friends are going to share our stories of why we will never, ever throw in the towel. Welcome to the Too Late to Quit podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Iftikharuddin. Let's go. Okay, so we are here with this is a very, very special. This is a episode of the podcast. Before I introduce our guest, I wanna set the stage. I want to give you a little story about how I met this amazing woman and musician, Naila Zaman. Back a couple years ago, I have been releasing my music via CD Baby since 2006. And they announced they were going to have a conference in Austin, Texas. And this was the first big conference for me, after COVID. And I was like, this is going to be a really fun experience. I should push myself to do this. But I had been in isolation. I'd been living in San Francisco. I hadn't been interacting with people. And so I was very, very hesitant to jump into this. And I said, if I go and do this, I'm going to really push myself to interact. And I'm not going to sit in the back. I'm going to go right up to the front. And the very first day, the very first person I met was Naila, the guest of this podcast. She gave me her business card. At the time, I didn't realize that she had over 2 million followers on Facebook or that she was an international singer. I just knew that I connected with somebody who was so kind and was so helpful and made me feel so welcome at this event. It really set the stage for me of like, oh, you know what? I can actually have a good time doing this. And I was so happy that I chose to sit in the front row on a Friday or Saturday morning at 10 a.m. in a freezing cold hotel conference room. And Naila has been kind enough to help me with a translation in one of my songs. And so, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to my very special guest, Naila Zaman.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for having me here. And it's such a big honor for me to be on your show.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. And, one of the things we were talking about, the most important thing for me with this podcast is that when I was in my early 20s, a horrible fear that I had was that if I don't achieve such and such milestone by such and such a time, my life essentially as an artist will be over and I'll have to somehow, I probably won't sell all my guitars, but I'll have to say goodbye and wave goodbye to this dream of quote unquote making it with music. And one of the things that I learned as I got older is that it's very possible to have both a music career and also an additional career. I refer to mine as my hobby. But I want people to know that no matter where you find yourself in life, whatever number is attached to your age here on this planet, that it's always the right time to start creating. And after meeting you and learning about your life and your travel schedule, and then seeing how you still have time and make time to create music, I said to myself, it would be incredible to interview you. So if you could you please tell me what was your very first musical memory? How did all of this begin for you?
Jeff, as a lot of musicians would say, that I have been singing from my childhood. So the same thing happened with me. I was in school. I believe I was in second grade. And we had a music class where our teacher used to play piano. on stage, and we used to sing along with her, Do Re Mi. And that's where I started from. And after that, I kept participating in music and drama, acting activities in school and colleges.
That's can you tell me where was this in the world?
It was in Karachi, Pakistan. So I was in um, in a school which was called Christ the Clarion, and my teachers were usually most of the teachers were nuns. So that's where I was.
Okay. And so from that memory there, did you would you give performances at that school? Did you start performing around that age?
What happened was that when I was in second grade, my dad was a diplomat, and we traveled to Saudi Arabia, and we were there for 3 years because he was the head of the directorate in Jeddah, and I was in embassy school over there, and I used to perform at different musical events in the school at that time. And after that, also, what happened was that we came back to Pakistan and we stayed in Islamabad for about 3 years, I would say. And then we went back to Jeddah for 3 more years.
Oh wow.
So, so my childhood was not at one place. I had to keep changing my schools and going to different places, packing and moving and all that. But I absolutely loved it as far as I remember. And I did participate in any musical opportunity I had. And then when we came back to Pakistan, okay, so after that, I started participating in TV shows for children in Karachi, and I was part of a program of a very famous Pakistani composer, Sohail Rana.
Sorry, how old were you when you were doing this?
I think I was about, I don't exactly remember my age, but I probably was in seventh, eighth grade, something like that. Yeah.
That's how did the other students react? That's a huge deal at such a young age.
It's a huge deal, yeah. So people used to be impressed by my musical abilities,
Uh-huh.
and I was actually very honored that for that show, a lot of students from my class were auditioned to be part of that program, and I was honored to be selected
Okay.
in that audition. And I felt so proud, and I was so happy to get an opportunity for that.
You know, so that's very interesting for me to hear. For those of you who are not aware, if you haven't noticed by my last name, Iftikharuddin, my father is from India, and growing up, my mother is from Chicago. I listened to all of my dad's classical Indian pop music, and I fell in love with the melodies and the scales. And Nilo, as when I listen to your music, you have the one of the purest, crystal clear voices, and I you move so effortlessly through your melodies. Was this always natural for you? Did you start training? But it's because it seems like even in seventh grade, the way that you were chosen, did you ever have any formal training?
Um, Jeff, actually, I never had any kind of formal training
Wow.
for music. I believe that it was natural. It just came from within.
Uh-huh.
And I don't even remember how I started singing, when I started singing, but I know that I always enjoyed it. I always enjoyed singing and listening to music. And I would say that it came from within somehow.
Who do you remember listening to? What were some of your favorite musical artists? Like, what are some of your first musical memories as far as artists that you would hear on the radio?
I actually was very impressed and influenced by Lataji from India and Noor Jahan from Pakistan. Because when I was little, I used to listen to those songs by Lataji and Noor
Mhm.
Jahan, and I really used to love them. I particularly loved Lataji's songs because I felt that my voice resonated hers. I tried to sing like her,
Okay,
and
okay.
yeah, and also I felt that I could sing in high notes, and so I heard a lot of songs by Lataji that were in high notes. And a lot of people used to say, you should sing in bass voice. You should sing a little bit, in tenor voice. I was like, no, my original voice is soprano, and I'm
Uh-huh.
going to sing in high notes. So, so no matter what anybody said, I was like, I feel more comfortable singing in soprano, and that's how I'm going to sing. So Lataji's a lot of songs were similar to how I personally would like to sing. So I used to listen to her songs a lot.
Did you listen to any artists from North America or from Europe at that time? Any Western pop music?
Actually, when I was little, I did not because I mainly grew up in Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. But lately, I have started listening to Ed Sheeran,
Okay.
and I love his songs.
Uh-huh. I think he just had a tour. I think was he in Pakistan and India recently, I think?
I I believe he was in probably in India because I saw a few videos of his interactions with Indian singers. So I think he was there.
You know, it's really cool, and this is a bit of a sidetrack. There's a movie, and I can't think of the name of it. I'll put it in the summary of the podcast. But
Mhm.
it's a Danny Boyle movie about where what if the Beatles never existed, and there's one person, this artist, who remembers the songs, and then he helps bring the songs to the world. And I'm pretty sure this is an Indian actor. He might be Pakistani. I have to double check. But Ed Sheeran is in that
Mm.
movie, um, and it's just, I think it might be called Yesterday, but it's
Oh
fantastic.
wow!
But uh, I love Ed Sheeran's music because it has this, I think, really a beautiful simplicity to it. And
Right.
I always love it when artists from Europe or from North America then actually travel, and I've
Hmm.
to India or to Pakistan, and then they learn about these. There's so many other styles of music, so I think that's very cool. So what you're saying is most of your influences had nothing to do with Western pop music.
No, it was not. To tell you the truth, I want to tell you something interesting. A few days ago, I was listening to American Idol. A few singers were singing, and I was thinking to myself, and I was thinking that uh, in Pakistan and India, we don't sing in this manner. But I really was so inspired, and I was thinking I have to learn how to sing English songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking into it, and I downloaded some Ed Sheeran songs on my Spotify
Okay.
and started listening in my car while driving. And but you're absolutely right. The method, the way the Pakistani Indian songs are and American songs are, they're sung totally differently. And but it's beautiful. Music is a beautiful language, no matter what style, no matter what country it's from.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you listen to it, it's so soothing and satisfying and peaceful.
So that's very interesting that you say that, because growing up mixed race in a mixed musical household, and my dad was a huge fan of European composers, like Vivaldi or
Hmm.
Chopin, and but to grow up and for me to hear this mixture was so fascinating, because I would be listening to, say, a Kenny Rogers record or these classical country pop records.
Hmm.
And then my mind would be completely blown when I
Hmm.
would hear somebody say, like, sing like the artist Chitra Singh. And I
Uh-huh.
would hear these scales, and that was when I didn't know it at the time, but
Hmm.
I had some form of synesthesia, and it was like seeing this. For me, it was this incredible, like, neon pink array of notes, like, floating. It was sounds that I'd never heard before.
I can imagine. I mean, you're listening to Kenny Rogers, and then you're listening to a classical song. I mean, they're totally two different things, and I can totally understand what you're saying.
Well, it seems to me that for you, you have this. It's something I was thinking about before, as I was preparing for this interview, and I was thinking about, there's a tone that you have in your voice, and I was saying to myself, I'm like, I bet she just has already always naturally sung like this. But there's this really interesting, caring tone in your voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's this like a comforting tone. But
Mm-hmm.
I've watched you perform thanks to YouTube, and I'll put links in so everybody can, that's listening to this podcast, can find out where to hear your music if they aren't
Thank
already
you.
listening to it. But you sing with such a controlled ease, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
think people realize how hard it is to sing what
Hmm.
you're singing. And so that's very interesting, hearing that now you're getting into Ed Sheeran, because I would imagine for you it's very easy to sing a Western pop song melody.
I First of all, I am very flattered by your so kind words. And then I would like to say, for me, you're absolutely right that whenever I'm given a song to sing, I don't think much about it, and I don't even pay attention to the technicality of it.
Mm-hmm.
All I go is by ear. So whatever I'm listening to, I try to just sing that. Let me give you an example. When I was recording songs for my third album, the songs music used to be sent to me from Pakistan, and they asked me to record it, and I would just record it in one take and send it to them next day. And they're like, wow, how come you recorded it in one day? And I used to tell them, this is as good as I can be. So why wait,
Uh
you
huh.
know?
Uh huh. Wow.
And yeah, so I I don't think much about it. So if I'm given a song to sing, I just sing it the way I hear it.
So walk us all through this,
Hmm.
because I'm very curious about this. How do you go from singing do re mi with your teachers who are the nuns to
Hmm.
then having songs sent to you and recording? Can you walk us through those that musical journey? Because
I
that
sure
sounds
can.
incredible.
I sure can. When we were talking about in the beginning about the age thing, even though age is just a number to me, but definitely I am above 50 years old. So I started when I was in second grade. I was little at that time, and then we moved to Saudi Arabia, to Jeddah, for 3 years. In those 3 years, I did not continue with do re mi or any American style music,
Hmm.
I would say. But what I sang in Jeddah in embassy school was just kids songs, or maybe just prayers or things like that. And then when we came back to Pakistan, I started participating in musical events where I used to just sing cover songs by our famous Pakistani singers, mainly Madam Noor Jahan. And then after that, let me go fast forward, because before that, I performed at school in different events. But let me go fast forward and give you some information about what happened when I came here to United States. So I've been living here for about 40 years now in upstate New York. And initially, when I came here, I started participating in local community events and singing over there, just cover songs. But then I thought, Jeff, that why do I keep singing cover songs? I have to
Hmm.
get my own songs made.
Hmm.
And it was only in 2010 when my kids got older and I started thinking, okay, now it's my time and I can start getting my music made.
Okay. Okay.
So that's when I got my debut album recorded from New York City. And because it was my first time, I did not know who to choose for my debut album. And I had no idea how to communicate with the recording company and what to look for, how to market myself. But I learned everything on my own. So basically, I'm trying to say is that nobody helped me with anything, and so I spoke to a recording company in New York City, and we decided that they're going to do 10 songs for me.
Hmm.
So I got 10 songs recorded, but it was their first time also, because they were just starting their recording studio. So there were some technical problems with my debut album, that my voice sounded like a child in that. So,
Can I ask you a question about this?
yeah.
So how did you so this is this and again it's something that anyone who's fortunate enough to get to meet you they'll feel the level of positivity that you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's very challenging when you are doing everything by yourself. How did you even find this place to record? How did you decide what songs? What was that process like? And the reason I ask you is I want people to know
Uh-huh.
that if they're doing it all by themselves, I'd love for them to
Mm-hmm.
learn from you and how you did that.
Sure. What happened was that on my Facebook, I just mentioned that I'm interested in getting some songs recorded in United States, and I'm in New York, so it's going to be better if there's somebody closer to me. And then I got a few messages in inbox recommending those people in New York City. So that's how I connected with them. And when I connected with them, we were communicating. First, we started talking about just one song. So I was interested in getting one song done, and I told them that I just want a pop song done.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sent me lyrics of their songs. I loved it. I loved the lyrics. Then after that, they sent me music. They said, okay, we're going to send you music. Just check the music if you like it or not. So they sent me the music, and there were somebody else's vocals in it just for my guide, just to guide me what to sing and how to sing it. So I loved everything about it. I loved the music. I loved the lyrics because I really wanted fast songs with, with the drums, bass, guitar, and all that. And so I said, okay, we're going to do this song. Then I was so excited and I said, why not do another song?
Uh-huh.
And I told them, okay, I think I want to do more than one song. Then they sent me another song. So this is how we started.
Wow. Okay.
But we ended up with 10 songs and the whole album.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent me the whole album, songs, all 10 songs, lyrics and everything. And then I made plans because I live about 8 hours drive from New York City. So I had to plan to go to New York City to get all my 10 songs recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to take some time off from work. And I thought, if I'm going there, why not take my family, my husband and my kids? So we all decided to go to New York City for a few days. We got hotel in New York City near the studio, and I got my 10 songs recorded. And then after recording the songs, I said to them that I think instead of just releasing audio songs, I need to make some videos of them. Then they said, okay, we'll make videos for you. And to be honest, because as I mentioned to you that it was my first time, I had no idea uh, who to talk to, where to get advice from,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and how to know that if they're doing a good job or not. I said, okay, I'll get videos made from you.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was because it was their first time also, and they were learning as well
Okay.
about how to record songs and how to mix, master, and make music videos. Um, it didn't turn out to be that good. But Jeff, I would say that even then, I am so proud of my work.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so proud of that company also because they also started, they were a new company and they had no idea what to do. But we learned everything together. And then after I released my album, I wasn't very happy about it because my vocals were like a child. But I said, it's fine because this is my debut album. I am going to upload it to YouTube and other streaming sites. So I did upload the album. And when I released it on Facebook, I got a lot of messages from Pakistan, from composers, musicians, that why don't you get music made from us?
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking, I said, okay, I tried my debut album. It even though it had some technical problems, but it was amazing. I loved it. I loved the lyrics, I loved the music, and I loved everything about it. So I said, okay, let me try getting one song made from Pakistan. So I started talking to this studio called AD Studio in Lahore.
Okay.
And I started talking to them, and it took me a year to figure out whether I wanted to get a song done or not. So after a year, I said, okay, let's do one song. So, so then they send me the lyrics, they send me the music and a guide in somebody else's voice, how
Mm-hmm.
to, everything. So I went to Pakistan by myself. Can you believe it?
Oh,
Alone,
okay.
alone by myself.
Uh-huh.
After 12 years, I
Wow.
I went back to Pakistan, and I had no idea how the showbiz is like. I had no idea if it was unsafe for a girl
Mm-hmm.
to go alone. But I said, I'll see what happens. I'll just, because I'm a big risk taker,
Okay.
right? And and also I'm an adventurous, and I was like, okay, whatever happens happens, at least I have tried. So I went to Lahore. I rented a place, a hotel, and I started getting my song recorded. And it was such an amazing experience. The studio people were so amazing, and it was in 2012, and we are still best friends.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. So after that, then I got more songs recorded from a different studio. Then I got more songs recorded. And finally, for my third album, I had I had hired a manager from Lahore, and he's also my best friend right now, and Adil, and he recommended to me, Naila ji, I know somebody who can do our music. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Then I started with one song, but I ended up with 10 songs.
Okay.
So that's how my album was made. And that's how they kept sending me the song here in New York. And I listened to the song, and next day I recorded it and sent my vocals back, and they put my vocals with the music. They mixed and mastered the song, and after that, after my songs started being recorded, then was a talk about, let's make music videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to send my part of the music video from here, and they used to add the male model part from Pakistan.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and Adil, uh, my manager, his younger brother, he's a video director. So he used to do that, and he made my music videos. So now I have 10 songs of this last album. It's called Judai,
Mm-hmm.
Juddai. And you can listen to them on YouTube, or you can listen to them on Spotify, Pandora, and a lot of streaming sites.
So I just want to back up for a second. So there's a couple things you said that were very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The first question I had is, you said when you heard the first record that you recorded, where everyone was essentially learning together, that your voice sounded like a child. Had something been changed with your vocals, or what caused it to sound that way?
I I believe maybe the mix master was not done properly,
Mm-hmm.
or or my voice does sound like a child. So yeah, so I have no idea what happened there, but I think probably the mix master was not done correctly.
Well, there's such a cool lesson there that I think anyone who's listening to this podcast, that I would encourage you to think about is that you, and I love the fact that you're an adventurer, and that you
Mm-hmm.
love adventure, because I think that speaks a lot to how you handled that situation. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think most people in that situation would have said, "Oh, we're going to have to bin the whole thing and
Mm-hmm.
start over again." You said, "No, like this is it," and you put it out,
Yeah.
and you proceeded and you moved along. And I think that says a lot about who you are as an artist. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a really important lesson that people can take from your story, from that part of your musical history,
Mm-hmm.
because I think a lot of us can tend to get stuck in
Mm-hmm.
the creation process or not releasing. And I think that's just admirable how you handled that. I love that, how you dealt with that, your first record, that way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Actually, somebody recently said to me, why don't you delete those songs from the first album from social media? And I told them, I said, no, I'm not going to, because
Mhm.
that's my stepping stone.
Mhm.
When I listen to those songs, I feel proud that that's where I started.
Mhm.
And now when I listen to my latest songs, I feel so proud that see how far I have come.
Wow.
And that gives me inspiration, that gives me motivation. If I delete my old songs and only listen to my songs from right now, I won't know that how hard I've worked.
I love that. I'm so excited for all the people, and I know you have a worldwide fan base, for all the people who are going to get to discover your music, because this is it's such I love that perspective, because that's so important, because it lets you see exactly, you have the audio proof of, and some pretty amazing memories that you
Mhm.
did that all on your own. Did you, when those lyrics were sent to you, did you alter any of the lyrics? Did you contribute to those lyrics, in any of the
I
production?
I I actually did not alter um, many of them. I just kept them the way they were. But
Hmm.
I would say maybe one or two I felt that they were not rhyming properly according to the meaning, or I may have changed a word or two, but mostly they were done by the lyricist and they did pretty good job.
Okay. That's I think there's also another lesson in that, as far as you also seem to be very open to collaboration.
Yes.
And I think that, would you attribute that as to one of the leading factors to your success, as far as being so open to collaborating in the studio?
I believe so because for me, as I mentioned to you, that I'm very adventurous, and besides that, I love to collaborate with musicians, with American musicians. Even though
Mhm.
I sing Urdu and Punjabi songs from
Mhm.
Pakistan and India, but I would love to collaborate with American musicians, even American singer. So if they sing English, I sing Punjabi or Urdu,
Uh-huh.
and I would absolutely love that. That's actually my dream to have a few songs like that. And I have been thinking about creating my own band, and in my band I'm thinking about having musicians from different cultures, American, Spanish, and have a diversity of
Mhm.
musicians in my band as well.
I think that's awesome. I'm curious. So, when did you, after you record, and it's an amazing, I think, way of having faith in the process and in yourself that you were, 8 hours away from Manhattan, and
Mm-hmm.
that you and your whole family drove down to
Right.
New York City. That's a huge investment yourself. And then I'm curious, how long did it take you to track the vocals for those 10 songs?
Um, I think probably it took about at least a week or 10 days, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
had to stay in hotel for that long, and we had to spend a lot of money, of course. but but this was my dream, and I wanted to do that, and so I didn't mind. My husband was supporting me, and
Mhm.
I'm so grateful to him for supporting my musical journey.
So that's wonderful. I think that that's so important.
Hmm.
How then do you go from being in the studio and cutting 10 songs worth of vocals in 10 days, which is very fast, which is
Hmm.
very impressive.
Right.
How do you go from that to then touring around the world?
Yeah. So I my first musical tour was in 2012, and that was when I went to Pakistan and for the recording and video shoot of my first song for my second album. And then after that, I went in 2013, 2014, 2016, 2022. So I really needed to make my second and third album. So I had to take time off from work to go. But if somebody's motivated, you can do anything. So every time I went to Pakistan, I also went to Dubai, and
Wow.
these things they kept me motivated.
How what is when you're describe to me what it feels like for you when you're on stage and you're singing those songs you've that are such a huge part of your life and your story as an artist. How does that feel when you're giving those concerts?
When I'm on stage, it feels so incredible. It feels so incredible to see my fans in front of me, and them appreciating my music, appreciating my songs, taking pictures, taking videos, and a lot of times, let me tell you one experience I had in Lahore when I was performing at Polo Club Lahore. And there were thousands of people in the audience, and a few of the fans came on stage,
Hmm.
and I felt so awesome that the kind of love they were showing. I don't know. It's a feeling of being connected with people, feeling love from people. Um, I'm a person who craves, who really wants to be loved. So I feel so good when my fans and when people in the audience show so much love, that I feel like my purpose is done here, and it feels incredible. It feels great.
How did you so you what brought you to the CD Baby conference where we met in Austin, Texas?
So,
I'm curious what your experience was like during um COVID,
mhm.
and how you then eventually came to that conference. And I'm curious what the last few years has been like in your career.
Right. Okay, let me start by telling you how I started releasing my songs. So even before last few years, in 2010, when I released my debut album, as I mentioned to you, that was my first time. I had no idea how to release songs. So I did some research about companies who release music for artists. And I was looking for a few companies, and CD Baby came across. And when I read its information and saw how they worked, I decided to release my songs through them. So that was the time when I started releasing my songs through CD Baby. So, about the conference that we went to in Austin, Texas, I had been thinking about going to conferences, CD Baby conferences, for a long time. And that was the time when I was free and I could go to Austin. So that's how I went to Austin. And I wanted to connect with other musicians. I wanted to connect and see if I could collaborate with anybody. And I wanted to see what are the experiences of other artists. And of course, we had some classes where we learned different things and seminars and classes, which was absolutely very beneficial to me. And then I ended up meeting a good friend like you. So I was blessed.
I just I think about that a lot. I know I mentioned that earlier. Is that usually when I go to a conference, I like to sit way in the back in the shadows, in the safety of the shadows, and I said to myself, "No, I'm going to sit in the front row of every
Yeah.
single event I go to."
Mm-hmm.
And my father passed away a couple of years ago, and the album that I've written for him, I said, I really, there's this one part at the end, I'd love to have it in his mother tongue of Urdu.
Yeah.
And having your help translating that was so, when I think back to it, and there were some great seminars, and it was amazing, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
so grateful that I met you. I hope you understand how grateful I am that you helped me with that translation. I obviously don't speak Urdu. I didn't grow up speaking it. So it was so helpful to be able to have your help translating that.
It was my pleasure, Jeff. It was my pleasure. Anytime.
So can I call you Naila Z?
Sure, sure.
So I'm curious
Mm-hmm.
because I want to know, what advice do you have? Somebody's going to be listening to this and they have a secret desire. They've always wanted to make music, but they've been told a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
You're too old. It's
Mm-hmm.
way too late. Be sensible. Don't be such an irrational thinker.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. Um, but they feel this inside of themselves, and they feel that these people who are giving them these critiques, who are
Mm-hmm.
disguised as tough love,
Mm-hmm.
that they secretly believe that they are too old, that it is too late. What advice do you have for somebody who is experiencing that?
I would say don't listen to them. Just just shut all the voices out. And if you have a desire, a dream of creating music, go for it. It does not matter. You're 40 years old, 50 years old, 60, 70, even higher than that. Just go for it. And you know what I do is I I don't take, I would say it's not a good thing to do, but I don't take people's advices. I stay with my own intuition.
Hmm.
If I want to do music, I do it and I absolutely love it. I don't mind if there are technical problems in it. I still release the music. So I would say go for it. Does not matter what your age is. It's not too late to do anything. And what makes you happy, it's not necessary that it will make other people happy. So do what makes you happy.
I think that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And so true. And I that's such an important thing because you mentioned intuition, and it seems to me, where did you have you always been that intuitive? Because it seems to me that you, from a very young age, you learned how to tour essentially based on your travel around the world.
Mm-hmm.
How did you learn to be so intuitive and to trust that inner voice? Because with everything that I've learned about you today, those have all been
Mm-hmm.
experiences where you had a million reasons where you could have said, this is something I need to walk away from, but you walked towards it. Have you
Yeah.
always been this way, or were you influenced by anybody?
I was actually always like this. I believed in myself. I, whatever my mind told me, okay, this is the right thing for you to do, Naila. And I believed in it, and I believed in myself. Even if I made mistakes, I used to think that nobody's perfect. Everybody's going to make some mistake. And if you make a single mistake, it doesn't mean that you just stop doing what you're doing. So I think the main thing is to believe in
Mhm.
yourself.
With your songs, I'm curious, how what makes a cut on one of your albums? How do you decide what is the message, the overall message that you most connect with for your albums and for your songs?
That's a very, very good question, actually. I am a strong believer of love, passion, and romance. So from the beginning, I always wanted to do love songs and romantic songs. And that's what the topic of my every song is. It's romance, love, and I think that it resonates with a lot of people because my last album, that's called Judai, it basically is about two people who are in love but they are far away from each other and how much they miss each other. So that's the theme of the whole album.
Oh, wow.
So main message is romance, love, and passion, and nobody can live without these things. These are the necessities of life.
I think that's great. Are you can you share what you're currently working on right now?
So at this moment, as I'm very busy with my other job, I'm not making any music at the moment, but I am spending all my time in marketing my music myself. So I every single day I have to show my presence on my Facebook fan page, Instagram, and share some of my music. So the reason that at this moment I am not making any music is because my family needs me financially, and I am dedicated to them for at least another year. And after that, then I will think about making more music. But at this moment, I have 29 original official songs on YouTube, on Spotify, on Pandora, and all the other websites, streaming websites. And two of my songs were actually selected and picked up by Bollywood T series. So they're called Sajna and Dilwali Gal. So yeah, so I'm so excited about that.
Nyla, can you help? Can you help our audience understand the reach of that arena, of Bollywood, about how many people will be getting to experience your songs?
Oh my goodness. I can't even count. I can't even count. It's probably going to be billions of people. Yeah.
How does that feel, when you think back to your journey, and then having this really, I think it's really admirable, how you, because when you were explaining, when I asked you about, as far as have you always been so intuitive, it
Hmm.
seems just part of your DNA, that it's so very natural for you, just like it's natural for you to sing in such complex high
Hmm.
melodies with such ease.
Hmm.
um this How does it feel to know that that has then led you, for your song, your voice,
Hmm.
to be heard by billions? How does that feel?
Um, Jeff, it feels so good because I always have been very positive person. So I look at glass half full in every situation, and I think because of that, I never gave up, even if I saw some hurting comments on social media. I never gave up because I knew that that was only 0.0000001% of people who were putting those comments, but the
Hmm.
rest, the rest of the people love my music. So I am always positive,
Hmm.
and I think that positivity brought me to where I am today. And I worked really hard. It's not okay. So a few minutes ago, you asked me what would I advise to people who are interested in music. So
Hmm.
I advise them to go for it. But at the same time, I'm telling you, it's not easy. It's going to be hard. But never give up. Just keep going. So I worked very hard for my music, for where I am right now, and I'm really proud about it. And another thing, Jeff, is that I would also advise to people never ever to compare yourself with other artists.
Mm.
Because you are unique, you have your own way of singing, and keep that unique character. Don't try to copy anybody. Just be proud of who you are, proud of what you can sing and how you can sing it. And no way of singing is a perfect way. So sing in the way that you want to sing it.
That's This is just fantastic. Have you ever, in those moments, have you ever wanted to stop? Have you ever been afraid of feeling overwhelmed by all that? And how did you? Because when you're experiencing that, or those trolls, that low percentage, what tools did you have inside of you to not let that stop you?
I actually never paid attention to negativity. I tried to stay away from negativity. And on social media, if I see any such comment, I just delete it because I don't want to see it again.
Hmm.
I don't want my mind to be influenced by negativity. So that's how I handle it. And I pay attention to the positive vibes that come towards me,
Uh-huh.
and also my mind does not attract negativity. So
Mm.
I think probably that's why. But I know a lot of people go through self doubts that maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe they are right, but not it doesn't come to me. To me, if I make music, and if somebody says, oh, this is not good enough, you should have done that, you should have done this, I just ignore that part. I just let it stay away from my mind, and
Mhm.
I know what I did and I'm proud of it. As long as I'm happy, Nobody has any business telling me that your music is not good enough, because I'm not um, comparing myself to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I am who I am. I'm Naila. I have a unique way of music, and I absolutely love it. So I think that's probably the reason I kept going.
Well, I can't think of a better place to end this conversation. That was absolutely beautiful. I'm so excited for people to listen to this episode of the podcast. I think you're really going to reach a lot of people, and I think a lot of people that need to hear that. You've made it in such an easy to receive message, because of the way you actually live your life. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm so grateful that I met you at that CD Baby conference. I'm so happy that I've gotten to discover your music, and I can't wait to share your music with everyone who listens to this podcast.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I am so honored that you invited me to your podcast. And I really, really loved talking to you and enjoyed talking to you.
This is great. I really can't wait to share this with everybody. And I want everybody to remember that it's always the right time to start, and it's too late to quit. Thanks again, Naila.
Thank you so much.